testing out to see how it looks live. Oh. Okay, looks like a couple of things are inverted on there. Inception. Whew. Is there anybody actually watching the stream? I see 3 watchers. Yep, that'll be the right size. Alright, gonna wait to get started though. Oh, this one's interesting. I don't think this side's been worked on. This side's been worked on. Where's my flux? Hello, Norbert. I'm not actually going to start doing this for another 7 minutes or so. Alright, I'm just gonna get started. Okay, this is the LG HBS 770. Show it on the camera over here real quick. Bring up OBS so I can see the preview footage. Alright. What I'm going to do is replace the cables with these. Now, or should I just do it the easy way and go with these? No. I'll do it the hard way. So that way you can see the other end replacement too. Alright, fairly simple. I'll try to get everything on camera, but it's not as easy as you might think. There we go. Alright. That is loose. Let's see if I got a flathead handy. Ah, there we go. With these, it's just a matter of giving it a little bit of bend right there, pushing down right where my thumb is. Sometimes that screw doesn't come all the way loose, so you got to put some upward pressure. And then unscrew some more. And then it's just a matter of working your way around the edge and popping all the tabs. Because this has two screws, you're not overly worried about those tabs either. And you can tell, if you look close, this has most definitely been worked on before by me, on this side at least. The other side looks like it hasn't been touched because the grommets are still in place. Now, we're doing a full cable replacement on this side and converting to MMCX. So, let me get that out the way, and also, let me mute this. There we go. Okay. Now, use my pine saw from Pine 64 and a battery pack. Probably don't need flux right now, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just waiting for that to get up to temperature. There. And yeah, you can take it all the way out and remove it that way, and that's probably a little bit easier for some people, but it's a lot more work. Red to positive, copper to negative. And then we get to put the soldering iron away for a little while. Okay. First thing I gotta do is, now normally when you're fixing these, what you would do is just cut it right above the knot, pull this back a little bit further, tie a new knot, strip the wires a little bit, and then resolder it down, because the most likely spot for it to break is right where it comes out of this, the rubber piece that holds everything in place, the tension reliever. So it's most likely to break right there. And so you'd cut it there on this side, and, well, pull it through first, trust me, and then cut it. And then tie a knot, trim it back, and then solder it back into place just the same way, and it's good again. And you can do that a couple of times before it gets too short to be usable. But that's not what we're doing today. Today, I'm going to cut this. That little washer is not overly important. You can do it all without it. But I'm going to pull that rubber piece off and slide this wire through this rubber piece. And just remember, the smaller side is the outside. And that'll be where the longest portion goes. And then I'm not going to be able to get this on camera, but it's just a matter of forcing the new wire through the hole. And it is possible to get a larger wire through that hole, but sometimes you'll have to just prep a little bit and slide a screwdriver through and widen things up. Now, this is actually my first time using this type of cable. Normally, I go for a joined cable or just a round cable instead of two separated ones. So it may be difficult to get through, and I can do it the from the back instead of the front if I want to, and then just pull it all the way through if that turns out to be easier. The problem I'm getting right now is that only one of the pieces wants to go through at a time, so I'm trying winding it a little bit tighter. And I may use the screwdriver to assist in pushing the second one in, just to get them started. Like I said, I'm going to try to get this on camera, but it's going to be difficult. I mean, there are other things I could try too. A little bit of blue tape, hold them together, maybe act as a wedge. Fold back. And this is the most tedious part. Oh, okay. Got it started. But now I got to get it all the way through. Yeah, and this will probably be boring and you won't see much while I'm doing it. Nobody joined on Discord, and hey, I got 3 watchers now. Like, if you joined right now, you're at the boring part. But it's just going to take me some time. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, I've got one of them to show. Don't know if I can get that on there. Little nub. But the other one, if you can see, is bundling up there, so it's not getting through. Like I said, this is my first time with this type of wire. Trying to get it through one of these. But I got this wire with some other sets where I'd used a part of it for something else. So instead of buying more wire from China, which would take forever to get here and is not cheap, I already have this here. I'm going to give it a try. If it doesn't work, I'll switch to a different wire. But definitely not willing to give up on it yet. Oh, Anthony, I'm working on a pair of LG headphones. It's just I'm at the tedious part right this second. Trying to get this wire through this rubber piece here. And welcome to the live stream. I wasn't even expecting a turnout today. Let's start over. Trying to get this wire through. Oh, it really doesn't like me today. You know what? We'll try this. Melt the two together just a little bit. Let that cool. Nope, that didn't work. Try and get it to a point. Can you guys hear me? I assume you can hear me on the stream. Four watching now. This is pretty dull right this second, especially since, you know, no actual soldering going on right now. This is a pair of LG HBS 770s that I am converting to MMCX. I was hoping to get this done quickly and move on to the other half, but the cable is being unhelpful. Okay, it started again. Both of them are slotted in, but not through. So now I'm taking the screwdriver again, and I'm going to try and push that through. This is why I said earlier, if you're just repairing one instead of modifying it, pull through, then cut. What's up? Okay. All right. Yep. Love you too. This is my lovely wife. Yes, she did know she was on the live stream there. Oh, I think it's... Oh, yeah, yeah. Hopefully you can see that. Cable's just peeking through now. Hold on to it while I pull the screwdriver back. Got it. All right. And where did I put that scrap? Ah, there it is. I have this scrap here. That'll tell me roughly where I need to put the knot. The knot there for tension relief. I'll go ahead and add the washer back on if I can, but if it's going to end up being too difficult, I'll just skip it. Like I said, not overly important, and it doesn't want to fit through, so not needed. Need some music or something. Usually I'm listening to heavy metal while this is going on. Just double check. Oh yeah, that's plenty of length. It's gonna go from there to there. And I got the knot in. It's just to keep it from going back through the hole when it gets pulled at normally while it's sitting on your neck. Okay. Now this wire should be pretty easy to work with from here on out. Separate where I melted it together. You can see I got a little bit of red showing on that one. And just use my fingernails and pulled the wire back, and now I got some copper showing on that one. Red one, we might have to peel back a little bit more. Heat it up with the lighter a little bit. And you want to get that coating, because they're coated wires, off of there, so just and then give it a rub. With these thin wires, you don't want to do too much. Your soldering iron can take the coating off, which is a little bit easier when you're putting it into place. Okay, so now we can try to pre-tin these, but because they are super thin wires, it will be difficult. So I'm heating up my pine seal again. Yeah, I'll show it over here this time. You can see it heating up right there. And then I'll have to adjust the tightening on that, but that's not a big deal. Alright, get some solder pulled over. Oh, one more thing I want to do, just to try and make this actually work, the pre-tinning. A little bit of flux on the wire. Move that out the way for a minute. I don't know if you could see that, but the sheathing pulled back. Man, this is a pain to try and keep on the camera. So let me do it the wrong way. Normally I would be heating up the wire and then bringing the solder to it, but that is proving difficult on camera, and you can see the flux burning off. So now what I've done is applied the solder to the soldering iron, and the flux has really made it a whole lot simpler there. And you can see those just have a little bit of solder on each of them. So that worked out well. This wire is pretty good. Much better than trying to work on the thin wire from that originally was on the headset. Okay, now the headset's next to me. Bring that back over here. And red to positive. And this one I don't have to worry about. We've already got it through the hole, so I don't have to worry about trying to shove it through the side first. And this shouldn't take very long at all. We've already got flux on the board, flux on the wire. I could use more if I really wanted to. And let it cool, give it a tug. Yep, that's good. And now the copper side. I might not be able to do this side on camera. Just trying to get the wire into position is proving difficult while keeping it on camera. Alright. And yeah, I got the end pieces a little long here, so I also need to make sure that they're one, not touching each other, and two, not touching anything else on the board. And you want it kind of sitting, well, you want it with a little bit of tension on where you want it sitting before you start soldering. So that way it actually stays in position and doesn't fly away. Okay. Yeah. Wish the focus worked better on this. But yeah, both of them are hooked up. Normally what I would do is I would immediately start doing the other side and get the interior done instead of just working on one side. But that would be excessively boring at this point, so I'm putting the grommet in position. Actually, tension reliever, grommet, whatever it's freaking called. And normally I also wouldn't be closing this up right this second. I would leave it open while I did the next part, but considering how awkward all the positioning has been, I am going to close this up. Just snap it into place. I'm not going to screw it down for now. Well, one of the screws is already in position, so I'll give it a little tighten. Alright, and then here's the other end. Nice, blank, does nothing. So, let's bring out my bag of tricks. These are males, not helpful. Those are 5-volt boards, also not helpful. Ah, here we go. Little bag of goodies, but I don't think that's the bag of goodies I was looking for. Ah, we'll use this set. There we go. These are MMCX connectors. I have a little bag here, but I think those are ones that I attempted work on in the past, and something came up. They're probably reusable, but I'm not at that point yet. So here's a brand new set, nice and clean. Still 3 people watching. We were at 4. But I'm not surprised. Okay. So let me see. This is a left side. So I'll start with the blue one, which is the left side. Red's a right. Ooh, these are the harder ones to work on. Now, let me see if I can get... Alright. Come on. Oh, I'm doing good. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you see my screen? Okay, I'm about to solder this MMCX connector. Just pre-tin it. Here, I'll show you one closer up. That's what it looks like. Yeah. Oh, did you see me solder the PCB earlier? Hackathon, yeah. You mentioned that. How was the hackathon? Oh, you're at the hackathon right now? Okay. Well, I only need 2 of these 3 connections. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll slice off that third one so it's not in my way. See if I can get that in focus at all. That's about the best it's going to get. Change the angle some. But there are 3 prongs there. I know they're difficult to see. I only need 2 of them. And what I'm doing now is pre-tinning. I have added a little bit of flux to help it stick. And now heating up the metal and adding the solder. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but probably not. But you'll know it's pre-tinned when it goes from that copper color to the silvery solder color. And the smoke you're seeing is the flux. And I want a decent amount on there, but not so much that it bridges. I'm not going to do that third one at all. The new kernel, 5.1.2? 1.3. Okay. I think I'm still on 5.1.1. Okay, and here's an important thing to remember that I seriously sometimes forget. You need to put your sheathing on your wire before you do your soldering. That, and if you're going to use heat shrink, that also needs to go on before you're soldering. And believe me, everybody forgets those things. What color do I want? This is blue. Do I have small red? Because then there's no point. Well, I can do blue on each side. That's fine. Yeah. DroidCam and OBS Studio and Firefox. Well, no, I'm using Chrome, but Okay, so I just got some thin heat shrink tubing. I'm actually going to cut it in half considering how small this stuff is. And slide that onto the wire as well. Same difficulty as earlier, where the two wires want to split and not both go in the hole at the same time. But I think I got it. Yep. And pull that back far enough that when I'm soldering, it's not going to start shrinking. Okay, that's everything I need, right? Grommet and heat shrink. Now I could pull out my thin little wire strippers and strip those, but what I'm going to do here is just use my lighter again and a nail, a fingernail. Might not work as well on this side as it did on the other one. There we go. See, I got the red there. Can't remember, is it red to the outside or red to the inside? I think it's red to the inside. That's center pole. And there's the copper. All right. So flux these wires. I might need to order some new flux. Yeah, and I'm not gonna worry about the coating on this one. I'll just let the soldering iron handle that. And then separate them a little bit. Yeah, the only thing is I wish I had a better tripod. I have, like, bigger tripods somewhere, but I loan them to my kids for school, and magically they don't know where these 4-foot long tripods are. Ooh, that coated super easy. Oh, perfect. Okay. I guess I'm going to try the inside one first on this. Oh, let me adjust my camera angles again. Oh, yeah, there. That's good focus. Steady hands that I don't seem to have. Okay. Come on. All right. hate it when that happens. Excuse my language. We'll have to clean up the soldering iron. I don't know where my solder wick is right at this second. That should be good enough. I'll check it in just a second. Okay. Turn off my soldering iron for a minute. Pull that out. Now, before I close this up, I'm going to test. That's a left. That's a left. I had a right over here. Where'd it go? There's a right. Oh, well, I did this wrong anyway. I need to take this off and put a male on. Why did I think I was doing the other side? Okay. So I need to switch to a male. That shouldn't take very long at least. Wires are pre-tinned. I'll just have to... Oh, and it's the easier one to work on too. I don't know if you can see that, but instead of the 3-prong, it's got 2 cups. Well, sometimes these are easy to work on. So now, heat up the soldering iron again. Down there in the corner. There's 1 wire, there's 2 wires. Alright, now let me line up on this. Yeah, okay. Little bit of flux to help with heat. Not very much flux at all. And I will need to switch out. Oh, they might be the same, but... Okay. There's that. There's that. Alright, center red again. Make sure those... Why does that look like those two are touching? Okay, and they're not. That was just flux. Alright. 3, 2, 1, tug. Come on. There we go. I hope it's the same size, because I didn't switch them. Slide that through. Yeah, same size. wind up those wires a little bit. Yeah, we're not putting the heat shrink on yet because I still need to test. And I am using a right instead of a left, but that doesn't matter. Connections are the same, it just the direction of the actual earpiece itself. Power on, battery high, connected. Power off, and it was wiggling a little bit there, but it stayed solid, so everything's good. First time go. Now I'm winding this cable up a little bit again. There at the end, so it's just that little bit tighter. And then sliding the heat shrink all the way back down. And even putting it a little bit over on the metal. How so? Okay, well, I don't think I've actually used Pop OS. What's it similar to? Okay, okay. Isn't GNOME stock on Fedora? Okay. Mm. Okay, and then I just screwed that on there, and then there is one more thing that we got to do with this, and that one's kind of a pain. But test again. Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. Well, how are they going to handle the licensing with Windows 11? Is it going to just be a free upgrade from Windows 10? Okay. I don't know if you all can see that again, but I tested one more time before I do the next part. Matter of fact, I probably am going to take a break before I do the next part. Not going to shut off the stream or anything. I'll keep talking, but no, no. I haven't upgraded any of my systems yet. I'm a little slower than most everybody else to upgrade because I use my main machines for work, and I'd rather not have my for work machines get broken if something is incorrect, so I give it a couple of weeks. So you went with the upgrade path? 20.2, yeah. That's what I figured. Why? Okay. Yeah. I've never had that issue, but I can see where someone might. Okay. If you like Pop OS. Hmm. Cool. Apart from Mint, well, I have used Fedora. I'm not the biggest fan of GNOME 3, but it's become much more usable in recent years. So, I guess, okay, if I couldn't use Mint at all, I would probably just put Cinnamon on Ubuntu. But, you're making me feel old here. Yeah, I turned 40 this month. Well, later this month. Alright, so this is a glue stick. This is a pain. Because there is no tension reliever built into these, I have to do something to try and get it held in position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off little pieces of this and shove them around the wire down into there, and then heat up the whole assembly and get the glue stick to melt, and then kind of hold it at a downward angle and see if I can get it any more in until I can't anymore, and then heat it up one last time, and that will somewhat help to hold it into place. Now, I couldn't find the glue stick I was using previously, so I had to go get a new glue stick. So I'm just cutting off little pieces. It's on the table. Cut off the second one. That one's a little bit bigger. I might have to trim it down. I should have a smaller flat tip. Let me check. Nope. Looks like I have what I have. Hmm? Oh. No, no, no. I've let these build up for a while. It's not like it breaks and then I immediately turn around and fix it. I have like 4 or 5 of these things running at any given time, and then one breaks, and I set it off to the side, usually marking how it's broken. Here, like this one, this set here, is a similar set that I was also going to work on today. I don't know if I'll do it on the stream or just do it on my own. It'll depend. But I marked it with a green dot, and these have probably been broken for months now. And I'll do a replacement on those, but the right side is dim on those, and I know that because of the green mark on the right-hand side. But these are all working ones with MMCX mods on them already. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. And then I have something like 20 that are not modded. that I fixed in the past. So it's not like I rush to, get this in. I will set up a day like today and do a whole bunch. Like, I also want to work on this today. I'm gonna do a full cable replacement on that, and I'd love to do that on the stream. So if one breaks, I will switch to another one and then set it aside, and when I get a bunch of them that need fixed, I will fix them all, or try to fix them all. Sometimes I'll get stressed out and just, decide to do some soldering, and I'll make a new one. Like, this is a new one. This one wasn't broken. It was previously fixed, but it was not broken at this time. Okay. So now trim off some more, because I got plenty of space in there. And the other thing about doing it the way I'm doing right now is there's every chance I'm going to push one of those wires off. So I do have to be careful. That's a really big piece. So do you do any soldering? Have you ever thought about doing soldering? Ah, really? Well, I understand that shipping would be the issue, but the pine saw when it's available is like 25 bucks. And that's what I'm using as my soldering iron today, is the pine saw. What gets expensive with the pine saw is ordering replacement tips. Alright, and we are going to test this one more time before I heat it up the first time, just to make sure me pushing it all in there didn't break it. Damn it, where'd the right go? Ah, here we go. This one's fine. No, I'll use this one. Alright, hooked up, and turning it on. Power on. Battery high. Power off. Alright, good to go. So now the hot glue is all in there. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but it's a little bit tighter. So just heat it up till the hot glue melts. Maybe work it towards the middle if you want. Another thing I like to sometimes do with the heat shrink is actually put more of it on here and then put a right angle on it. So that way it can be an over ear if you need it to be, but also connect well to the MMCX extensions that I use. Well, the longer cables anyway. Okay. And let me see if I can get that on camera. You can maybe see there's more of a gap there. So I can work some more in here. I'm not overly worried about it. I could stop with just one, and that would probably work. But I do like to do at least two. Do you have any repair shops near you that might have old soldering irons they're willing to get rid of? Well, just check with them and see if they've got old soldering irons that they don't use anymore. I think you can build your own. Alright, and then later on, there's some carbon buildup on there. That's not a big deal. And you can see the glue is coming out a little bit from the second work through, so that's good. And once it dries, if I really want, I can just go in there with a knife or something and pick off the bit at the end, and it will be perfect. Alright, set that aside. Alright. That's one side down. Now, should I just go ahead and do the other side right now? Or should I move on to something different? Perfect. Alright. I will work on the other side then. Get it all done at once. Yeah, I was right. That was the left side. So next will be a right. Where did I put that mail? There it is. Okay. This is why I think that this side's never been worked on, is because those pieces are still in there. Now, sometimes in the past I did replace those, so it might just be a really old set, but they don't even look deformed. So it's still glued into place really well. Let me get this hot glue out of the way. There we go. That exposes the screws. I'm gonna take a minute. Turn off the mic while I'm vaping. It helps if I unmute while I'm talking. Okay, so I took that apart, or took the screws out, and now I'm taking this apart again. And like I said before, it's just a matter of not having your tripod come off the table, and then putting some pressure here. There, and causing a gap. This is the LG HBS 770. It's a Bluetooth headset. Yeah. So I don't know, probably been around for like 10 years. Yeah, they've been around for a while. Right. I enjoy fixing them, so I get way more than I need, but I get them broken, so I was able to get them for like $5 each. Very rarely will I buy something brand new. Yeah. Yep. That's always a good thing to do with a laptop. Just make sure you get, because a lot of your newer super thin laptops will have the RAM soldered in place. Some of them will even have like eMMC hard drives, which are non-replaceable. Yeah. Which I love the XPS 13 line. The only problem with them is completely non-user replaceable RAM. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the problem with it is that you can't upgrade the RAM. So if you get an 8 gig, you're stuck at 8 gig. Oh, maybe. Well, the XPS line isn't cheap, first of all. Yeah. Yeah, it is prohibitively expensive, at least, for me. So, okay, I got this open, and this is a super clean, never been touched board before, which can be nice, and then it can also be difficult because they'll use unleaded solder here, which takes a bit more to work with. So, I wasn't able to find my solder wick earlier, so we get to do this the fun way. Oh, do you want me to wait? Okay. Nobody likes my soldering. I'm joking around. It's cool. Honestly, if I weren't streaming this, I would be doing it anyway. If somebody gets something out of it, then good. If not, I was still going to do it. Okay, I am going to add a touch of flux. Probably don't need it at this point, but it sure can't hurt. Alright, pop that out too and try and get some tension on these wires. That came off, and copper on the outside, because I'm not seeing the positive and negative on the board. I know it's there somewhere. I think it's right there. Copper on the far side, red on the outside. I don't see a positive and negative marking there. There should be one. Ah, okay, there it is. There's the positive right there, which means the negative's right there. It's just the flux is making it difficult to see. Okay, so this is actually a completely good earpiece end to end. Almost don't want to cut it, but I need to, well, I guess I could try to unknot it. The nice thing about the 770s is the earpieces really aren't sided. They're not shaped differently per side. So I can use a left on a right and a right on a left. So if I get two of these, I can turn a headset back to stock if I want to. Okay, that's out. And if people were watching earlier, that was a pain to get the wire through, and we get to do it again here in a minute. But we did figure some stuff out, like melting the two pieces together with a lighter seemed to help. This is streaming on YouTube. There's not a lot of people watching. Python is good to know. I enjoy working with Python. And I don't say that about too many programming languages. Bank of America. Ah, yeah. Do you know what team they work with? Oh, yeah. Well, it's all financial. What's their name? Okay. It's not familiar off the top of my head. Okay, see, I was able to get it started, but because it's not stretched, I started too soon. I'm gonna have to. We Yeah, we have a lot of India teams. Yeah. Well, I do work with people out of that office, but there are multiple teams. Okay. I might know them. Well, from what I understand right now, it's a little bit more open than it is in India. Right. You guys got all those variants causing issues. Hmm. Yeah, that and if you're a manual laborer, it's a little difficult to social distance. Oof. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you used to see how some of the buses ran with like people leaning out the doors and holding on to the sides and the back. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not like that here. That's some of it, I'm sure. Um, I also like how much open space there is compared to other places. Yeah, yeah. But I live in Texas, and just to give you an example, I live at the midpoint of Texas, and it would take me um, what 8 hours of driving at I'm trying to convert it in my head at approximately 130 kilometers per hour to get to El Paso, which is the far edge of Texas. I think. Yeah, it is. But I live in Central Texas, so it's still in the same state. Yeah, I live in Dallas. I used to live in El Paso, so it's an 8 hour drive and roughly 80 miles per hour the whole way. I think that comes out to a little around what half again, but not. All right, my mistake is corrected. Oof, I was stressing that hard. I accidentally showed you guys like all the passwords to everything, so I had to go in and change them all real quick. Whoops. Hopefully nobody noticed. Yeah, it got boring, I know. But okay, I already removed those. Let me see, where was I? I had just gotten that through there, and now we're pulling it through a little bit further and tying a knot. So it doesn't pass back through that grommet. And yeah, I didn't want to say on the stream that I was changing all those passwords. Didn't want somebody to decide that they were faster than me to go and log in. So all the passwords are changed. flux to the cables here. I know the focus is terrible. There we go. So now let me get this out of the way. And we're going to try and pre-tin these wires. We're doing it the wrong way again, because it's easier than the right way. And the right way is to heat up the wire and bring the solder to it instead of putting the solder on the tip of the iron and then heating up everything at once. I'm doing it the wrong way because, well, I'm on camera and trying to get everything shown in the camera is difficult. Now, if I remember correctly, it's red to the outside, and we've already got flux here. So this is unleaded solder. But it's not very much, so fairly easy to work with. Okay, now I'm getting the other one into position. And voila, give them a tug. Good to go. The actual soldering part, I guess, is the quickest. Oof, maybe we got not too far back, but that won't matter too much. Okay. That faces backwards. Slide it into position. And there we are. What time is it? 4 o'clock. I started at 2. Man, 2 hours to do one thing, but I did, get caught up in the middle there. Okay. Snap it back on. Got 2 screws. And we're just going to screw this in. I want to get this part done and decide if I'm going to do any of the next ones or if that's going to be it for today. Not that I'll stop soldering. I'll probably keep soldering even after I close down the stream. Just end the camera distraction. It's in. All right. Now we got this side, but we're not stripping it yet. We need that other half of the heat shrink that we used earlier. And we need a red and male. Here we go. There's that. Sliding it on through. Red male. Red for right. Like I said, these are the easier ones with the cup. At least it should be. Last one was. Yep. Cup style. Always slide it through first. So that way you don't have to undo your soldering. Okay. Bring that up. Lock that into my helping hands. Let's see if we can find the focus. Oof. Alright. Yep. And we're hot. A little bit of flux and flux. These we need to pre-tin. Correct way to do this on the bottom is to heat it from the bottom and then let the metal melt the solder instead of the iron. Okay. Now we have these wires here that do need to be stripped back. Pull them apart. Red and copper. Red to the inside, copper to the outside. We will pre-tin so that way the coating gets removed and there's a little bit of solder on them to help them stick. Same thing again. Okay, I'm gonna do the outside first. And yeah, you see, that just went right on. Give a little tug. It did go right on, but not where I wanted it to. Alright, right in the center. Little tug. And it's solid. Alright, now, what's next? Testing. Popped right on. Hello. Bring it up to my ear. Power on. Battery high. Connected. Power off. Alright. This doesn't want to pop back off. That's not too much of a problem. Just screw on the piece and give it a wiggle. And there we go. Now unscrew it again because we still got to slide the heat shrink in place and heat it up. Nope. Why? Can you give me 8 minutes? we go. Heat shrink is in position. Slide that over. And only thing left to do is put hot glue on the inside since there's no tension reliever. Don't squeeze hard if you do this. It's now screwed into place. Hot glue. Trim off. Slide in. The thing, you don't want to overheat it because you will end up messing up the heat shrink or the wire above the heat shrink. You can try for some more, but that looks pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, it's not really going in anymore, so... And solid. Alright, now... I will wipe that carbon off later. Snapped into place. Yeah, see? Just a bit of carbon from the lighter. And put it in my ear and test. Power on. Battery high. Connected. Power off. Everything works. New MMCX modded headset. End. Switch to the OBS so I can see. Yeah. And there's the connectors. All good. I'd love to do this again sometime. But thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching.